Hello, hello. I guess it is a happy new year to you. I have my Angry Orchard. Yeah, that's what I got. And I was just looking at a most bizarre article. Um, what does it say up here? It's an award in the MLM industry, and apparently there is a company in the Philippines called Copper Mask. And it is a stylish face mask that has an antimicrobial film with infused copper strands and is effective to kill different kinds of bacteria and viruses. Kind of odd. Looks kind of weird. And then there's this other thing, this air purifier that says it protects against pollutants and other harmful particles not visible in the air. Yeah, okay, well, I'm glad it's not visible in the air. Just so many weird things. So many weird things. Oh, goodness. So I wanted to come on here and share with you, besides my Angry Orchard, just, kind of wrap up the year, because it certainly has been a year like no other, right? And so I did come across something. Oh, where the heck did I put it? Oh, by the way, okay, so I have I filmed the video about Shannon Watts. She sadly was killed a couple of years ago, and she was a member of Lavelle Thrive MLM. And so I'm going through her whole history within MLM, which is a winding kind of a path. And apparently I talked a lot, because I usually script everything out, but I didn't. I just kind of put something together and I spoke to it. And apparently I was one chatty Cathy on this. So Monica gave me the idea to split it in two. So after I finish going through the footage, the Watts one will be too, because I'm there's just a lot to say. And I still don't think I covered everything related to MLM and all that. I really don't. There's just, to me, there's just so much. But I also, and where the heck did I put it? You ever have a bunch of windows open and stuff and you just don't know where shit is? That's me all the time. Okay. So one of the things that was supposed to happen this week is that, that whole TikTok ban thing, MLMs, we don't want them. We're changing our community guidelines, yada, 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 which went into effect on the 29th, allegedly, supposedly. That's what we were told. And guess what? I don't know about you, but I've made some reports. And even though I've made reports, all I get is, this doesn't go against our community guidelines. But if you don't want to see it, you can block it yourself. And I'm like, interesting, huh? So exactly what is it that you're saying can't be on your community? Because, we need to know if there's something specific, because apparently, it seems to me it was more like lip service. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's going to be a big change and we just haven't seen it yet. But I would think if you'd make an announcement like that, you'd be prepared and then you'd take action. Maybe I'm expecting too much. I don't know. But, so far I haven't seen anything. But what I have seen are those social media MLM coaches that are giving people advice of what to do. And I find all of that interesting. I did a video on Ray Higdon, and today my video was on Nadia and John Melton. That went up. And for some reason, and I apologize, this is their video and the audio was not in sync. I've never had that happen, and it is what it is. So I just moved on. Hey, Happy New Year to you too, Danielle. So I found something else. And again, it's another one of these coaching types. And I'm going to read it to you because, again, I find it interesting because I want to know, what are people being told who are in network marketing, direct sales, multi-level marketing? You guys, all of that. It's the same. It's just different words, but they like to, pretend like they're different, but they're really not. So I think it's interesting to see what people are being told and then how they're responding to it, like what are people thinking who are involved in this industry? Are they concerned or what? So I thought I'd just kind of like go through this with you. So the question is the internet starting to turn on network marketing? And that all starts with, the TikTok thing, which, as I said, we haven't really had results from that. I wasn't expecting it. And anyway, it goes on to say, I have a lot to say about this. But first, make sure you tell your friends and indirect sales, and feel free to share this with your group or with your teams. Because, it's always about that. Happy New Year to you too, Zyka. Don't know if I said that right, but, I apologize if I didn't. Anyway, so 1, will this happen on Facebook or Instagram? Yes, this will continue to be a trend across many platforms in months ahead. There are multiple ways this most likely will be accomplished. Enhanced post reporting. Recently, a reporting option was added, unauthorized sales, and that's to Facebook because this is coming from Facebook. Well, not from Facebook, but it's from somewhere within Facebook. You guys know what I mean, right? Shadow banning of certain keywords, hashtags. This is worse than something like Facebook jail, since you never are informed it is happening. Your engagement is essentially slowly choked out. Now, I don't know about you, but, I'd like to see this stuff choked out of social media, especially some of those janky ads. Do you guys get those janky ads for stuff too? That all these courses and crap that they're going to help all of these people. Those things just kill me. Expansion of the CC and OCR capabilities in addition to the above text search. Essentially, the words could be spoken in a video, CC, closed caption, or read inside an image, OCR, not sure what that stands for, but we'll just go with inside an image. This could include the downgrading of what the algorithm would perceive as a product shot or anything text heavy. Machine learning growth in the areas of pattern recognition. For example, dropping a link as a first comment on a post or copy and pasted, "Hey girl" messages moments after friend request. This tech will also be applied to cracking down on multiple or fake profiles. You guys, you love those "Hey girl" messages, don't you? I'm so embarrassed that I sent them, but I did. And I wonder if this will help eliminate them. Will we finally get rid of the copy paste? What do you think? Do you think that we will be able to just, have people be people and maybe not do janky things? Banning of company links would be done on a case-by-case basis, but this is particularly dangerous for replicated sites. All it takes is a few people mass posting, abusing the link, and it would be banned for everyone. As an example of machine learning above, all the gimmicks like masking a domain only work for a few days, weeks, until the algorithm picks up on the pattern. I think that's interesting because, if you're in one of these companies, you have a replicated site. That's what you have with your, like a little code at the end. So it goes to you and no one else or anything. But so what are they going to do instead of that? Then you can use like, what's it called? It's like, like Linktree or something, or, there's a shortener you could use. So that could be used. So then would the machine learning pick up on that too? What do you think? I don't know. Who is responsible? Direct sales companies. That means multi-level marketing. because we know there's been some serious jank in social media. This business model is based on networking versus traditional marketing. Social media has created an explosion of opportunity. Leaders need to think more long-term, adding value. I am so sick of hearing adding value versus short-term, extracting value. Stop promoting cult-like activities. I agree with that. Anything where people can lose their identity or free thinking is discouraged. I agree with that. And lean in on a value proposition. If a market goes cold, you've done it 100% wrong. Okay, but this person is still directing this towards people who are in multi-level marketing. So this makes me think that since they're doing that, they think there's a right way. Somehow there's going to be a way to do this type of business that's not going to be problematic. But the problem is still going to remain. You got to recruit if you want to make the money, that's the thing. Provide better vetted education. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. If they actually had real training, and you guys have probably heard me go on about that, drives me bananas. I acknowledge that this is very difficult as the technology changes every 3 minutes, but investing in people is the only way to long-range growth legacy. Okay. But I'm still concerned about the whole thing that we're still talking to people who are in multi-level marketing, and they're expecting that since they've done this, they are going to have results. You know what I mean? Put some teeth in your compliance. I agree with that. Compliance departments, for the sake of the brand industry, need to come down harder on how their products opportunities are represented. And I'm definitely going to agree with that. Because, okay, let me give you an example quickly. As I've done my research for the video, well, it's going to be now a two-parter on Shannon Watts, because I looked back over like all the posts that she's made. And then there's someone that she had recruited, and this person, I guess they're still in it. And I look at theirs, it's like they're doing the exact same thing in the exact same way that she was doing it in 2018. And haven't we grown and changed since then, Because if people keep doing things the way that was done in the past, I would think that the algorithms would go like, people don't like that crap and they wouldn't show it as much. I don't know. But I would also think maybe there would be a new way to do it. And I don't know what that is. Not that I want to say that I want people to have, like massive success in this, because I don't see that happening, because it all depends on recruiting. But at the same time, it's just, I'm not sure, Some of this sounds good, but I don't know if it can be put in place. Maybe it's to make people think it can be put in place and that they can be successful. Maybe it's more like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. So B, Facebook or the other platforms. Facebook does a really bad job at providing specific as what you violated, the opportunity to fix it, the education to prevent it in the future. I would say all social media platforms probably don't do a good job. And you know what? Just like I told you about, reporting TikTok posts, they didn't do a real good job of telling me why this doesn't violate community guidelines and what specifically does violate community guidelines. It's just this broad kind of little, lip service, I'm going to say. I also acknowledge that one-on-one or direct support is impossible. If every Facebook employee was responsible for a group of users, each employee would have to serve 50,000 users by themselves. Facebook is very pro small business, and 2021 will continue to unveil new tools to support small business. The general attitude of direct sales among Silicon Valley is that it is big business that historically has taught bad behaviors that reduce the quality of their platform. That is true. It is big business. Think of all the people. Happy New Year's to you too, Starfruit. Of all the people who run ads. I ran ads when I was a hun. Facebook's going to take my money. They're going to take anyone's money that's willing to pay for ads, And a lot of that, in my opinion, because, to place an ad, it doesn't cost that much money to do it, because you can do it for, like $5 a day, a couple of bucks a day, $1 a day, whatever. Not that it's going to have a big impact if you're just doing it at that rate, but you get my point. It's relatively inexpensive as compared to other ways to do advertising. And that's why we get all these like just weird things in our feed where people are, offering up help, services and stuff. But I really wonder if you are in, if you're with Beachbody, if you're with Herbalife, if you're with Kyani, and you're putting out ads, have you had any benefit from that this year? And you just started out. Let me put the caveat. You just started out. You just started and you started placing ads. Did it do anything? Because I would say probably not. Probably not. Okay, but I would say Facebook is very pro MLM, because it has allowed MLM to absolutely proliferate, in my opinion. Have you ever been told to do something on social media that didn't feel good in your gut? Did you do it anyway? Did you then contribute to the problem? Yeah, hey girl messages and, oh my God, I can remember posting the before and afters and to the join my challenge groups and all of that. Ugh. Here is the good news for you. When you know better, you do better. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Like, don't join multi-level marketing. Just saying. Your friends, we love to blame the algorithm when at the end of the day, the algorithm is a reflection of user feedback engagement. When your friends skip your product posts, mute you, or hide the post, it sends a signal to the algorithm. Their silence, absence of engagement on those posts speaks louder. So if you are relying on the pity of your friends, then you are in trouble. If, however, you want to make a profit by helping people solve their problems, then you are set up to win. I would agree with that, but I'm going to say getting people buying MLM products isn't going to solve their problems. Getting people to join MLM isn't going to solve their problems. Yeah, I scroll past them too, Julie too. I'm like, gone. And thumbs up, you can do that 100% without violating any platform policies. Whose side are you on? We are on the side of your dream. We are all for companies that provide vehicles for people to attain the life's visions. We believe that many direct sales companies have helped more single moms, veterans, and underrepresented voices than some nonprofits do. I don't think so. I disagree with that. I have not seen these things. We've seen the numbers, just looking at the income disclosures. We know that the ability for anyone to actually make money is slim and next to none. So has it really helped them? Where are the numbers for this? How do you know that? What are you basing this on? I don't know. But they go on to say that basically the issue is, the janky things that people do. Until we take some responsibility or find an opportunity to basically do it differently. So I think it's going to be interesting that there can be some changes, but I want to know, like, from those changes, will that impact people that have joined an MLM to be discouraged and not do it because they're not having results, because social media is now finally saying, kibosh, we don't want this. We are going to squash people from seeing this. Because I think what may happen, I agree with you, Starfruit. Yeah, I do agree with you with that. Using underprivileged individuals to legitimize saying how helpful your business is shady. I agree. I absolutely agree. But I'm kind of wondering, because I know, like, okay, within Beachbody, because you guys know I was a Beachbody coach and I ran a free group. I ran, a paid group, meaning, you got a challenge pack and all that crap. I'm kind of wondering that if something with posts and with lives, if it, the algorithm starts picking that up, machine learning, will people then do this within groups? So it's going to be in private groups and still happening, but we won't see it. And then I guess that would depend on whether or not people are engaging in those groups. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think we will see less of these, janky posts that people do? Will we see less of people doing the, hey, I know this is random, but you look so perfect for this opportunity. Would you be open to, because that's a Ray Higdon line, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. So then some people, the huns chimed in. If you share your passions and do it the right way, then you won't have issues. So I guess you have to have a passion for whatever you're shilling. That's MLM. Absolutely, Julie. The more you complain about it, yeah. And that's why hide things, report things, say, I don't like this, ignore it. That's really what gets their attention, And I guess it would get the attention of people who are in these companies, that if people stop responding to their ads, I just saw one today for like Frank Kern, and I'm like, oh, good gravy. Just like all these things that I've done. I was like, oh, I saw another one for Grant Cardone. I'm like, oh, stop. You're killing me. Guiding principle will keep you out of trouble of leading with your passion. The other 10% is usually related to doing anything in mass. Okay. It's sad to see some leaders posting that they are out of jail as a badge of honor. It's extremely irresponsible. I've never seen that, but okay. All right. This is where it becomes any direct seller's obligation to better the whole direct sales industry. How do you better an entire industry that's problematic? How do you do that? How do you take an industry that relies on people recruiting other people into it and, do it the right way? Make it better. Because that would mean that people would not be making more money by recruiting. They'd be making money off of just being able to sell the product. And I've run the math before. I think I've done it with like Beachbody or something. And it's impossible to make a livable wage trying to shill this stuff, you just can't. Oh, you don't like Grant Cardone either? Yeah, absolutely. A TV show? Seriously? I want to know what TV show he's going to be on. He just, that man's something else. At some point, we must take a personal interest in making any community, platform, or neighborhood, digital or not, better. Change always begins with me. I think what's interesting in all of this is that none of them seem to come up with the idea that, maybe me being in an MLM ain't such a good idea. That never seems to dawn on them, which I find interesting. Yes, absolutely. They're blaming the huns and not the business model. Yeah. I'm expecting if they change their behavior, then that will legitimize the industry, and it's not going to. How is that going to do anything? You're still left with the same crappy model of, you gotta recruit. And, as just doing all the research that I've done on Shanann and seeing the amount of work that woman put into everything. Because, she worked her butt off and was involved in so many different things. It's like, oh my gosh. I just think, her story is just such a cautionary tale of, like just losing and I'm not talking about losing her life, but I'm just like, because it's just like everything just kind of went to the wayside, like her entire life, friends and family, everything was just focused on MLM, getting to the top, getting to the top, getting to the top. Because you know how they tell you when you join, like, you know what, if you sacrifice now just for a little bit, you're going to work really hard for not a lot, but in the future, this unnamed time frame, in the future, you won't be doing hardly any work and you'll be raking in all the money. And I really think that's what she was caught up in. And just as I went over her stuff, it's like I saw that. And I saw that desperation. But also at the same time, I knew she was trying to keep her little Jenga tower up. And that's no easy feat. And so it goes on to say these bans are already on Facebook and Instagram, but not globally. If the trend continues, there could be an all-out ban on the entire industry. Raise your hand if you'd like to see a ban of MLM on any social media platform, because I would, whether or not they'd actually do it. But at least it would get the conversation more, at least more people would be talking about it in general. And then the companies would be going like, oh, crap. People aren't liking our stuff. What are we going to do now? Because, they're going to retool. They're not going to just like slink off at all. Undercover Billionaire, is that the name of the show? Wow. People abusing social media and blaming others. I hope this won't move to an all-out ban. I'm looking forward into learning more next month. I'm sharing the heck out of this. They always are trying to see like, you know what? It's not the business. It's, we just got to do better. Our actions have to do better. I don't know. I mean, then there's someone who's been doing all of this for 4.5 years. I wonder what they've gotten out of the MLM in that time frame. Maybe they haven't considered that. I don't know. Let's see what else. Okay. Companies. Okay, so he's asking about basically are all of the companies and the reps going to be, booted out of TikTok? Well, we've already seen that hasn't happened. Even they said, oh, we're putting the kibosh on MLM, but they haven't. On Facebook, it's just starting with the practices, but if some self-regulation doesn't happen, then it could turn into an industry-wide ban. Well, I don't see people stopping messages, even if they don't start with, hey, girl, and they use Higdon's about if you'd be open to earning some money on the side and watch a short video, you can get back to me, use that kind of, they'll come up with a different way to say it because they always do. That's the thing. Just like cockroaches. I agree. 4 years. Yeah. 4 years more stressed. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That they think they need to change and that, stay with what they're doing because they're going to reach their dream because that's the vehicle, even though it's not. And, it really also goes beyond that. The MLM companies are one part of the puzzle, but it's these coaching types. That's another part of the puzzle that they're preying on these people too. And then there's the people who are like selling, like different books and the courses. And you guys know how I feel about their courses because they all just blow chunks. They just do. And I'll give you a little insight into the two-parter Shanann video that I'm doing. Because within it, I talk about how Lavelle came under fire by claims that were being made. And one of the things that they're told is to, have better training, and they're making sure that their training's good. And I'm like, well, how are you evaluating it? Because none of these companies use any form training evaluation. So if you've ever been to like, even in like face-to-face where you fill out a little form, like how was the room? What did you learn? You ask questions about the instructor. That's a level 1 evaluation. There's 4 different levels. Sometimes there's 5. It depends on, what model you go by. But none of these people with all of these courses use any kind of evaluation. It's all testimonials, which are opinions. And opinions are like what? We all have one. Just saying, we all have one. I think this will be amazing, forcing direct salespeople to become authentic to who they are and creative in figuring out what is actually they are selling, building a community first, and then sales will come later. But it's not just about selling your wares because you have to recruit. Wow. They just don't seem to get that. Someone says maybe this will be a movement that helps them realize they should be connecting with others and not collecting them just as a number. Yeah. Yeah, if you like actual real sales, cold calling, I bet. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's not much fun. I think I did some kind of cold calling before and I didn't like it. You guys want to know like the job that I had, that I came home in tears every single day for this job because it was just awful. I felt like a horrible human being doing it. I was pretty young too. I was calling collections for people who had were behind on their trailer park, payments. That's what I was doing. And, I just was like in tears. I was like figuring, they're telling me the truth. They were probably all lying to me, but I couldn't take it. I can't imagine, doing legitimate sales and cold calling for a year and getting them pounded that no. And sometimes all it takes is, like that one big sale, but that's a lot of pressure to take, a whole lot of pressure, because there are some jobs that do 100% commission. I think you're like paid like a certain amount for a certain amount of time. And then, it goes to commission, which I would think that would be incredibly stressful. Let me see. I'm excited to learn how to navigate this. I started an MLM as a hobby in September because I love the products and how they made me feel. I want to share that feeling with others, but I felt overwhelmed with how to be genuinely authentic. You might start feeling overwhelmed with how much money you're investing into it and not having any results because people aren't really interested. There could be that. I think more and more people just need to say no to any of this. Someone says, thanks for sharing. Being an MLM has been an eye-opener for me and a real struggle. I'm not a salesy person, but I do want to help people. Can't wait to learn more. But the thing is if you do want to help people and you want your own business, start your own business. You could do that. I don't know what that could be, but people start things all the time. Maybe it's dog walking. Maybe it's doing like, invitations, like hand lettering on some invitations or something. I don't know. It's just, there's just different ways. I know a lot of people have probably opened up, Etsy stores with the mask. I got masks from Etsy stores. There's a lot of different ways to do something. And good gravy. Let's not forget that actually having a regular job is perfectly okay. Just saying. Doesn't have to be MLM. Doesn't need to be. But when you hear people who are in MLM, you would think that's the only thing everyone on this planet should be doing. And in fact, really, no one should. You see, someone else said, let's see. I love this. I'm in direct sales as well as education. So I'm in the business of helping people solve a problem. It's actually hurtful fool when you think you've gained a friend, but instead you've become a target for a business. If I can solve your problem, I have good friends. If not, still cool. I have a new friend and it'll just take a little longer. Oh my gosh. You're starting your own Etsy shop? Congratulations. Congratulations. That's great. What are you going to be selling? Because if it's something I need, I'd love to support you. Let's see. This is eye-opening, and I do believe this will help weed out the bad and help the good guys soar. It just goes back to, I think it's because, you're indoctrinated to take the blame that you're at fault if you fail or you succeed when you're in, MLM. It's never the structure. So my husband's working tonight. That's why I'm here with you, wonderful people. And it's not going to be as crazy. I thought he was going to be off tomorrow, but apparently not, because they're booked for lunch. So I guess it's going to be me and the dogs, and give me some more time to finish editing this monstrous of a file so that I can cut it into two. Oh. Well, guys, that's about all I have. If you have any questions for me, I am happy to answer them. There's a lot of things that I have coming up. I know that at the beginning of this year, and I'm not going to bore you and tell you, like the total ins and outs of it, but I know I'm going to be involved in a project at work that's going to be a bear. I'm just going to use a polite word. It's going to be a bear, and I have no idea how it's going to even unfold. 'Cause I'm like, I think I need a shot of Fireball just to even think about it. I don't know if you've ever dealt with that or not, but it's just pretty overwhelming just thinking about it. It's like, I don't know, because what we're basically recreating is a process that has like over 3,000 steps in it, that we don't have any of the images, but we need the images so that people can see it when they pull it up. I have no idea how that's going to happen. So if you ever see me stressed or anything, you'll know why I'm dealing with that. Anyway, I am so glad I was able to spend some time with you. My back is hurting me, so I am going to bid you adieu. Thank you so much for being part of my community and taking the time now to be with me and watching my videos. You guys, you have no idea how much that means to me. It blows me away that people will watch what I have to say. It really does. And I really, really appreciate it. So I hope that this next year that we will all have a better year than 2020. I'm expecting things to get a little bit cray-cray, because we're still dealing with, #pandemic. And I don't know about you, but I pretty much stay to myself. My husband goes to the store and everything, and I'm like, me and the dogs, we're good. We're good. I don't really need to go anywhere. I'll entertain self. Anyway, thank you so much. And I'm going to get down the go-go. It was really nice and warm here this morning, and now it's cold outside. So I'm going to go cuddle with Chalupa and Tamale, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time, and be prepared next week. Oh, I am going to be interviewing, hopefully, it depends on if Bill was able to fly to Taiwan or not. I'm not sure, but Dr. William Keep, and he and someone who worked for the FTC, they came up with a model that, if applied, it would let us know whether or not a company was selling more products to their network or actually to the public. So hopefully I'll be able to talk to him about that, but it all depends on whether or not we're going to be able to connect. But I hope to. And also talk to him about the business exclusion rule, where MLM was excluded from having to provide disclosure. So have an awesome rest of your evening or day wherever you are. And again, thank you for being here. And remember, you are beautiful and I love you. Bye.